How can anyone, whether they want to work in a language school or privately from their own laptop anywhere in the world, create a rewarding and impactful career teaching English as a second language, even if they are just starting out or have no teaching experience or ability? Hi, my name is Lynette Kim, and here on the TESOL Talk podcast, I aim to answer that very question.
I'm a big fan of Krashen's theory of second language acquisition. And this is because in my experience in the ESL classroom, I can really see his theories in practice. And this comes across in so many ways, but specifically for me, the standout is the acquisition theory, where you see students who are at a certain level. So they could be pre-intermediate, could be intermediate, and they have to get to the next level. So how do you get a pre-intermediate student to the intermediate level? And yes, you're teaching course books, and the course book says pre-intermediate, so you have to assume that the writers know what they're doing, and so they're putting a little bit extra in. Each lesson's getting a little bit more difficult, a little bit more information to get them to that intermediate level. And while this is true, you can't really see that happening so much. But when you're teaching your students and you are actually adding extra things in, so you're giving them extra questions, you're extending them, you're asking them about things, getting them to come up with additional vocabulary, additional situations, scenarios. You're adding in things like phrasal verbs, collocations, idiomatic speech. All of these things are extending your students, and they don't always understand them, but they're taking that mental leap. And it's that mental leap where they're between comprehension. So they're comprehending what's happening in the lesson, but then you're asking them to think about something above that. So then that's that mental leap to the next level. And you'll see that with your students, how they're getting those little aha moments and they're actually taking that leap. And I really love seeing that in the classroom. I feel when I see that I'm actually doing my job well. Now, the other thing is the monitor hypothesis in Krashen's theory, because here you can see this so apparently. Like when you're teaching students, you can ask them questions. Like really low-level students, you might ask something basic like, do you like ice cream? And you'll see them, like they could be a beginner-level student, and this is an adult even, and they're going, do you me like, and they're translating almost word for word ice cream, and then they're like yes or no, and you see that little mental process going on, and they are trying to translate everything. They're trying to figure out how they should answer through this translation process. So they're monitoring, and when they get higher level, you'll see that they'll have these false starts. They'll be like, yes, you can say to them, do you prefer to take the train or do you take the bus to work every day? And they'll be like, I think that, well, in my opinion, so you got the false start. They're giving you a couple of different ways to start the sentence now. They're giving themselves time because they're trying to formulate the perfect answer. So they're monitoring themselves. And then they go on, yes, I prefer the train because, and then they'll take their time answering, and they might even stumble with perhaps a verb tense. Going by train is easy. The train is easier, and they'll be correcting themselves if they're a bit upper level. So this is that monitoring. And again, this is really important for a teacher to recognize, because this is what you need to get them to stop doing. So you need to stop your students and say, okay, that's a false start. You've had two different beginnings. Choose one. I prefer, or in my opinion. They restart. Great. Now, when they come to make a mistake, say stop, and then, okay, let's think. what's the best answer and let them continue. So, or you can ask the class, if this is a class lesson, so-and-so said this, but what was the correct way? And have them discuss it and learn from that discussion. So this monitor hypothesis is really important because you need to be able to work with that. Now, these are only 2 of the 5 hypotheses in Krashen's theory of second language acquisition, but it is really important from the perspective of understanding what your students are doing, why they're doing it, and how you help them either get better at it and fix it or stop it altogether. So either of those things. So I recommend for anyone, do a little bit of research on Krashen's theory of second language acquisition. There is stacks of stuff about Krashen on the internet. There's even some great videos on YouTube of Krashen actually demonstrating, teaching a mini little lesson in German and how it should be done, using that for TESOL teachers who speak English, obviously, as an example of what to do with students so they understand. But there's some great stuff. But, there are other theories for second language acquisition and other linguist theories out there, and it's great to look at them all. But my standout definitely is Krashen's theories.